Coach Slater back with another technique analysis video. Gonna look at the snatch again this time. First up is Jenny Arthur. She comes in at the 165 pound weight class, and I believe this is a 238 pound snatch. Awfully smooth. So what I like to look at is balancing the feet off the floor. Weight initially kind of goes to the heel as we're off the floor. You see her shoulders are back. She's got a great bit of extension there in her upper back, so thoracic extension, which helps her keep that bar close right as she's pulling the bar up her leg. Weight begins to shift now back to the midfoot, but as the bar's right at her hip, or near her hip I should say, look that she's still balanced on her feet. Heels are still down on the ground. She's still a little bit over top the bar, and she's left those knees bent so that she can now explode as powerfully as possible behind the bar. She's just now shifted to her toes, so the weight's in the midfoot just now, not any earlier. Now begins the major jump and pull under. Great lockout there. All right, cool. So let's look at, first we got Megan. I want to fix, first of all, the shoulders. You can see a little bit there how they're a little forward as compared to Jenny we saw earlier. So we can open up that chest even more. That would be better. As we make the initial drive, you can see the back kind of changes its angle just slightly. So it's here, and then kind of the butt leads the way, right? So we're going to try and fix that, make more of the quads drive up. Now part of this also leads Megan to be a little on her toes too much here, and we'll see that come into play later. She's trying to fix, you can see her pulling the bar back to try and get into position. But look how much she's already on her toes. It's a huge circle. Look how much she's on her toes there. And again, that shoulder forward position at the start has now exposed another issue as we begin to extend at the top of the lift as well. So weight too far forward, and with those shoulders a little forward as well, that typically means you're going to chase the bar a little bit. We saw another angle here where she does a hang squat snatch. She's a little bit better balanced now, as you can see there. We need to see the heel kept down a little bit longer, ideally. Again, the shoulders being a little forward here leads us into this issue of the catch at the bottom with the shoulders kind of tucking. You can see that little bit of gnarliness there. There. Well, let's just draw 3. Why the hell not? Okay, fine. Clear. So, again, balance off the floor, shoulders back. Try and get some better thoracic extension. I think that would help Megan with her catch. Cool. We got Christy up. She kind of jerks this first move, and that pulls her out of position. So I like to see her take tension out of the bar, kind of gently pulling the bar to feel that click, and then smoothing the bar away rather than jerking off the floor. As that gets her a little bit out of position already. If we can get maybe her feet a little closer, knees out wider, it might be something to try for her. That might keep her hips then closer to the bar. Now she's pulling the bar back into her, but almost so aggressively that she's way over top of the bar. So as you can see at this point, her body is way out in front of that barbell. It needs to be a little better balanced, so a little more weight back in the heel, and not so much of her body over top of the bar. That leads to some of the hips doing the majority of the work there. And so the knees are extending, but that's a lot of hip, and that bar ends up swinging out as a result. Fights it back, is Christy strong as hell. That's awesome. So again, we look at balance off the floor. That'd be the first thing to try and fix there, and then with that better balance off the floor, driving the bar back into the body. As we begin to transition up to the top of the lift, that should leave us in a better position then to extend the knees and jump behind the bar more versus just, you can see where Christy's almost jumping forward rather than getting back. So she is, you know, kind of here, whereas I might want to see her like back here, like we saw with Jenny. Got Rachel off the floor. Now, Rachel has some amazingly long legs, and that is going to hurt any Olympic weightlifter. So she's got to find a way to get those knees out of the way. So again, she might want to experiment with closer feet with knees wider. But with those long legs, she tends to have a taller set position. So you can see her back's kind of flat here. We want to try to find a way to get her a little bit more upright. That would be ideal. Off the floor, you can see, again, a little far forward there, kind of like Christy was. So the knees are locking out a little too much, too much weight in the toes as a result. So the body, the upper body, is a little too far forward over top of the bar. Pulling the bar into the hips, great. You know, we're all taught, get the bar in the hips, making contact. And as we extend, super. But this extension is led through so much through the toes that she's going to have to go chase the bar forward a lot of times. And you can kind of see it there, how the feet jump a hair forward. And she has to go get that bar. So that's your message for today. Watch the balance off the floor. We're trying to pull the bar back into us. Let's watch Jenny one last time. Bar doesn't drive straight up. It really drives more back into her. She's pushing the knees out wide, not necessarily just back, but out wide, so they're staying bent the entire time. And now past the knees, we're using the lats to pull the bar into our hip. We're also bringing the hip toward the bar. Weight is still balanced. We can begin to shift now from a little bit more heel dominant to a little more midfoot dominant. But we're not up in the toes. At this point, shoulders still in front of the bar, and can let the legs do the last bit of extension to jump ourselves. I like the feeling of almost jumping backwards. Some other coaches will say don't do that. That's what works for me though. For now, if you just try to work on getting tall as possible, great. Most of these ladies, as you saw in the videos you saw earlier, are getting tall. We just now need to change their position of where they're tall at. All right, that's all I got for today. If you want any videos of your own analyzed, give me a shout. We can hook you up. Thanks.